A soldier picks up a photo of a beautiful woman on the battlefield, and in the next second a shell lands exactly where he had been standing, and the 3 comrades beside him are tragically lost, while Logan survives because of this photo. On the back of the photo are the words "Stay safe," and Logan understands that blessings from family are incredibly precious for soldiers on the battlefield, so he decides to return the photo to its owner. He asks many people about the photo, but all his comrades say it is not theirs, so Logan has no choice but to keep the photo with him for the time being. Soon the war ends, and on the retreat his comrades joke with him, saying the woman in the photo was his lucky charm and that he should thank her in person if he ever gets the chance. In the middle of the conversation, a shell hits their armored vehicle, and Logan once again survives by sheer luck. He begins to believe that the photo brings him good fortune and helps him escape danger again and again. After leaving the service, Logan goes to his sister's house, and after suffering greatly from war, he has severe post-war stress, and even gunfire sounds from the TV make him extremely tense. Fortunately, he has a sister who understands him, and she turns off the TV and sends the children outside to play. But the 2 nephews begin to feel resentment toward Logan. One day, they decide to scare Logan and post a prank video of him online, but Logan instinctively grabs one of them by the neck, and the boys are terrified, and one of them runs out shouting. Logan keeps apologizing to them, and this scene happens to be seen by his sister who arrives at that moment. Logan feels deeply guilty for what he did, as he nearly hurt his young nephew. His sister suggests he see a therapist, but Logan believes it is something shameful and does not want to be judged by others. That night, Logan takes out the lucky photo and finds the lighthouse on the Louisiana riverbank where it was taken. He feels he owes the woman a debt of gratitude, so Logan records a farewell video for his sister and decides to begin a journey to find the woman who brought him luck. Even though the journey is full of unknowns, Logan still wants to use it as a way to seek emotional healing. The next day, he sets off with his dog Zeus, and the 2 travel from morning until dusk. They do not take any transportation and choose to walk the entire way toward their destination. When hungry, Logan cooks in the wild, and when tired, he rests with Zeus curled beside him. The scenery along the road and the slower pace of life gradually ease Logan's post-war stress. After more than half a month of traveling, Logan finally reaches the white lighthouse from the photo. He shows the photo around asking for information and finally hears something useful at a local bar. A man tells him that the woman in the photo is named Beth, who runs a pet lodge outside of town, and she is known as the local beauty, and she also happens to be his friend's ex-wife. He asks Logan why he is looking for Beth, and Logan says he owes her a thank you. Hearing this, Logan immediately rushes to the lodge, and in the sunlight a familiar figure slowly walks toward him, and Logan is deeply moved by her fresh and graceful appearance. He has imagined countless times what meeting his lucky goddess would be like, and in his heart Beth feels both familiar and unknown, yet this is their first real meeting. Logan appears slightly nervous, and just as he is about to explain the purpose of his visit, Beth's phone suddenly rings. Recently, one of the staff members has taken extended leave, and the many tasks at the lodge have left Beth overwhelmed, and even her elderly mother has come to help. Beth assumes Logan has come to board his dog, but Logan says he has just arrived and does not plan to leave yet.
Where from?
Colorado.
And what brings you to Hamden?
It's kind of a long story. Actually, I don't really know where to begin.
Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. That's absolutely none of my business.
I came to see you.
Beth is puzzled by Logan's words, and Logan reaches for the photo to explain, but accidentally pulls out a job flyer instead. Beth mistakes him for someone applying to work at the lodge and hands him an employment form to fill out. Beth asks Logan whether he has experience with dog training, and Logan says he trained dogs in a bomb squad.
So you were a cop?
Marine.
Hearing the words Marine Corps, Beth's expression changes, and unpleasant memories surface, and she tells Logan to wait for notice. But Logan says he has nowhere to go, and that he walked nearly 1,000 kilometers to get here. Beth believes Logan may have other intentions, so she asks him to wait inside. Beth finds her mother and asks her to send Logan away, but her mother thinks Logan is not a bad person. She asks Logan why he traveled so far to come here to clean dog hair, and Logan says it is because the job looks peaceful and his previous job was full of danger and instability. At that moment Zeus starts barking. With a single gesture from Logan, Zeus immediately becomes quiet. Beth's mother thinks Logan is polite and well-mannered and decides on the spot to hire him. Afterward, Logan rents an old abandoned house nearby, planning to stay for now and explain the real reason for his arrival when the time is right. The next morning, Logan goes to work at the lodge, and not only fixes the damaged roof but also cleans the dog kennels until they are spotless, and even repairs the tractor that has been broken for years. Beth's mother becomes even more satisfied with him and feels she was right about him. Although Logan works diligently every day, Beth still harbors suspicion toward him and feels that the way Logan looks at her is strange, and this makes her uneasy. Faced with Beth's deliberate distance, Logan does not explain and simply stays quietly by her side. That day, Beth is bathing the dogs in the river, and Logan and Zeus happen to pass by, and Beth's good mood instantly disappears, and she begins complaining to her mother before even entering the house. Her mother quickly signals her to stop because Logan is inside the house, and this makes Beth slightly embarrassed since everything she just said has already been heard by him. To ease the awkwardness, her mother hurriedly changes the topic and asks Logan about his past, and Logan says he attended 1 year of college and then joined the military. Beth mocks from the side, saying he probably didn't learn anything. Logan says he likes philosophy.
Give us a quote of your favorite philosopher.
Sometimes the questions are complicated, and the answers are simple.
It's Voltaire, isn't it?
It's Dr. Seuss.
This makes her mother chuckle, and after Logan leaves, Beth feels embarrassed for being so arrogant. That day, Beth's ex-husband arrives at the lodge, and he is openly hostile toward Logan and demands that Logan place both hands on the table the moment they meet. The ex-husband takes Logan's ID and questions him, and after learning that Logan is a veteran and just started working here, he finally relaxes. The ex-husband has come to ask Beth to attend the campaign event of his father, the governor, and with his influence, he uses custody of their son to firmly control Beth. For the sake of being able to stay with her son, Beth has no choice but to dress up and attend because in her heart, her son is more important than anything. A month passes, and Logan has already adapted to life and work at the lodge. He hears Beth's son playing violin by the river. Logan praises him without hesitation, and the distance between the two closes instantly, and Ben becomes curious about this new adult friend. That night, he invites Logan to dinner despite Beth's objections, and afterward they play chess together, and Ben shows Logan a card trick. Seeing the joyful smile on her son's face, Beth's attitude toward Logan begins to change. She tells Logan that her younger brother was also a Marine, but he passed away unexpectedly a year ago, and his death was a heavy blow to the whole family, and the military has not yet been able to determine what truly happened. As they part, Logan decides to tell Beth about the photo. When the words reach his lips, Logan suddenly does not know how to speak. Beth gradually develops feelings for Logan, and an unexplained emotion begins spreading in her heart. Her mother notices her daughter's change, so she goes to talk to Logan directly. Her mother asks what he thinks of Beth, and Logan says Beth looks fierce but is kind inside, and that she is not harsh at all, and her mother smiles slightly with understanding. Soon it is the anniversary of Beth's brother's passing, and Beth and her mother visit his grave. When they return home, Beth sits silently in the yard, and as she looks at the place where she grew up with her brother, she breaks down emotionally, grabs scissors, and begins cutting everything in sight, even smashing flower pots on the ground. Seeing Beth lose control, Logan rushes over, holds her tightly, and speaks to her gently to calm her down. Once calm, Beth tells Logan that the military has never found the true cause of her brother's death, and people in town say he was accidentally hurt by a fellow soldier, and she does not want her brother to leave the world without clarity. She vividly remembers her brother placing books inside the wall when they were young, and thinking of these memories, Beth cannot help but laugh through her sadness. Logan holds Beth tightly in his arms because he knows that at this moment she needs someone strong to lean on. After regaining her composure, Beth apologizes to Logan for losing control earlier. With Logan by her side, Beth slowly begins to walk out of the shadows, and Logan becomes very close with Ben, practically becoming a part of the family. Just as Beth begins imagining a happier future, her ex-husband shows up again to pick up Ben for a baseball game. Beth does not dare refuse and simply reminds him to take good care of their son. But when he brings Ben back, the boy has been hit in the nose by a baseball and is bleeding non-stop. Beth scolds her ex-husband for not watching their son properly, but instead she is the one who gets blamed. Beth becomes frightened, but he continues to press her aggressively, and thankfully Logan steps in just in time. Beth pulls her hand away from her ex-husband, which makes him hold a grudge against Logan. Logan asks Beth why she stays here and why she does not take her son away. Beth says her ex-husband has power in this town, and if he discovers she tries to leave, she will definitely lose custody of her son, and as long as she can stay with her son, she is content. Hearing this, Logan speaks with deep emotion.
I just want to make sure you're okay.
This makes Beth feel a long-lost warmth, and she knows Logan is truly concerned about her. Watching Logan turn and walk away, Beth decides this time to bravely pursue the happiness she wants.
When are we gonna get those beers?
I won't forget.
That night, Beth tells her mother that she is going to have dinner with Logan. Her mother notices that Beth likes Logan, and she encourages her to follow her heart. Beth brings Logan to a restaurant by the sea, and they talk about the things they both care about, and the seed of love begins to grow in their hearts. They walk together along the shore, and the air is filled with the feeling of romance. Beth takes Logan onto a small boat, and when she was young, her father often took her and her brother out to fish, and her brother learned to steer the boat when he was 6 or 7, and this boat carries their childhood memories. Logan suggests taking it out for a ride someday, but Beth tells him the boat has been broken for years and can no longer start. After dinner, Beth drives Logan home, and when they part, both of them feel reluctant to leave. And just as the atmosphere begins to turn romantic, a police car suddenly appears and interrupts them. Beth recognizes the officer as one of her ex-husband's men, and since her ex-husband does not want Beth and Logan to be together, Beth has no choice but to drive away. The next day, Logan is working outside while Beth watches him from inside the house, completely captivated, and indeed the way someone looks at the person they love cannot be hidden, until her mother reminds her. Beth snaps back to reality and escapes in embarrassment. They thought their happiness would continue, but at Ben's 8th birthday party, her resentful ex-husband confronts Beth again, and he uses custody of their son as leverage to force Beth to send Logan away. Although Beth loves Logan deeply, when faced with choosing between her partner and her child, she ultimately chooses her son. Logan understands Beth's situation and quietly decides to leave. On the road, her ex-husband follows in his car, mocks Logan for having nothing, and pretends to offer him help finding a job. Seeing the unpleasant expression on his face, Logan does not get angry and instead tells him that everything he has now comes from his father, the governor, and that without his father's influence, he is nothing. Her ex-husband is left speechless by Logan's words. Meanwhile, Beth becomes absent-minded and loses focus while doing chores, and her mother sees something is wrong and asks if she plans to live under threats for the rest of her life. Sacrificing her whole life for her child is not selfless but unreasonable. Her mother's words make Beth reflect on whether she has truly tried, and as she looks at her sleeping son, Beth decides to be brave. Early the next morning, Beth goes to see her ex-husband. Beth accuses him of using custody to control her. After saying everything she has held inside, Beth feels incredibly relieved, and she wants to share her courage with Logan, so she rushes to find him. And in that moment, the two people who love each other finally come together. In the days that follow, they are happy and sweet together, and Logan accompanies Ben while he practices violin. And seeing this warm scene, Beth feels that Logan will definitely be a good father. They even perform together at the church for the people in town, and not only do they receive warm applause, but Ben's friends also begin to admire him, and Beth listens from the audience with tears in her eyes. After the performance ends, Beth and Logan walk away hand in hand, and her ex-husband watches from behind, feeling extremely jealous. At that moment, his friend walks over and tells him that the person who had been asking around with Beth's photo a few months ago was Logan. When Logan returns home, he finds that the door has been forced open, and the photo of Beth on the table has disappeared. It turns out everything was done by the ex-husband, and he takes the photo to Beth, and Beth recognizes it instantly as the one she gave to her brother. The ex-husband tells Beth that Logan coming here is not a coincidence, and that Logan asked around everywhere with her photo. And he suggests that Logan may have accidentally caused her brother's death on the battlefield, which is why he came here to seek forgiveness. After the ex-husband leaves, Logan arrives as well, and Beth asks Logan where the photo came from, and Logan explains how he found it.
Finding something like that, it's like finding an angel in hell. So I kept it with me. I promised myself that if I made it out, I would find that girl and thank her. That you can't even understand yourself.
But Beth believes that the photo must have been her brother's good luck charm, and she says Logan took away her brother's chance of being protected, and in her grief she drives Logan away. Seeing Logan leave, Ben runs after him, and he gives Logan his favorite book. And Logan tells him to take good care of his mother, and Ben hugs him tightly before saying goodbye. Logan takes his tools and climbs onto the small boat again, and before leaving he wants to repair the boat for Beth as a parting gift. After finishing everything, Logan prepares to leave town, but the ex-husband comes to cause trouble again, and he warns Logan not to bother Beth anymore. Zeus barks when he sees the two pulling at each other, and the furious ex-husband suddenly pulls out a gun and points it at Zeus. Everyone nearby panics and runs, and Logan seizes the moment, grabs the gun, removes the bullets, and hands the weapon to the ex-husband's colleague, stopping a disaster from happening. Back home, the ex-husband is filled with guilt. His father, the governor, encourages him to pull himself together, but the ex-husband runs through the rain to find Beth again and hopes to reconcile with her. Yet Beth rejects him without hesitation. Upon hearing this, the ex-husband suddenly becomes agitated and declares he will take his son away immediately. And Ben hears the shouting, becomes frightened, and runs outside, and the ex-husband rushes after him, worried that something might happen to the boy in the dark. Meanwhile, Logan opens the book Ben gave him and discovers a photo of Beth's brother with Ben, and only then does Logan realize that Beth's brother was his teammate. During a mission, her brother was hit while protecting his teammates, and he was a true hero. And now Logan is the only one left from the squad, and only he can tell the truth for him, and he decides to tell Beth everything. When Logan arrives at Beth's house, he runs into Beth, who is rushing out, and when he sees her mother's anxious expression, Logan knows something bad has happened, so he starts running as well. At this moment, Ben has run onto a suspension bridge, and under the pouring rain the rope suddenly breaks, and Ben clings to it while calling for help. Seeing this, the ex-husband swims toward his son without hesitation, and just as he is about to take the boy back to shore, he realizes that his leg is stuck. Fortunately, Logan arrives in time, and the ex-husband hands his son to Logan and tells him to go first. And before Logan reaches the riverbank, the wooden shed above collapses and sweeps the ex-husband into the rushing river, and he loses his life. Logan returns the photo of her brother to Beth and tells her that her brother was a hero who gave his life to save his fellow soldiers. Hearing the truth, Beth is overwhelmed with sorrow, and she returns to the small boat where she used to play with her brother. And when she enters the cabin, she discovers many tools inside. Beth opens the engine compartment and finds everything brand new. And when she tries to start the boat, she discovers it has been repaired, and she knows Logan must have done it. And all their beautiful memories come flooding back. Meanwhile, Logan decides to leave and begins walking away from the town, but a familiar figure comes running after him. And in that moment they embrace each other tightly. Life's journey is filled with unpredictable change, and everyone longs for a beautiful love, but fate cannot be forced. What we can do is work on ourselves and wait for the person worth guarding for a lifetime, so that when love finally appears, we can seize the moment and let it blossom in our hands. And only through perseverance can we witness the most beautiful scenery.